Hey, what's up, zoners? Do you know how to win a fantasy football championship? You hit on a tight end late. Just go look at the list of the most common players on championship teams from the last 2 or 3 years, man. Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta, and other veteran tight ends going late help you the most to win that championship. So what are we going to be talking about today? The best and the worst values for tight ends heading into the 2025 fantasy football draft, okay? So that means we got a list of the top 20 tight ends. We're going to compare that directly to their productivity in 2024 and see what matches and see what doesn't, see what you are overpaying for right now, and which tight ends are coming in as a value because we want to target those, all right? So we got graphs, we got lists, we got all kinds of shit. It's going to be super fun, super important, but you got to hold on for 7 seconds. All right, you are looking at a list that I put together for this show. First column, all right, are the tight ends in the order that they're going right now. So I got this from ESPN Live ADPs. Just Google that, and it will pop up. They update it once or twice every single week, so you can assess value on players and how they are going right now. Brock Bowers, man, number 1 tight end going as of right now. Trey McBride and George Kittle, top 3. Anyways, the next column, man, their ADP this season. So 1, 2, and 3 there. The third column, their finish in 2024. So Brock Bowers, man, is going as the number 1 tight end right now. He finished as the number 1 tight end last season, and that makes his value 0. So everything lines up. His value score is 0. So he's going where he should, okay? And then you see some of these scores, like right now, TJ Hockenson is highlighted in yellow. So some players missed 4 games or more. So then I went and took their points per game and assigned them value that way to do it correctly. Otherwise, he's going to come in as fucking tight end 36. Look like a huge avoid. He's a huge avoid anyways. Newsflash. All right, man. And then, hey, let's go over the last column, values. So all it is column B minus column C, and you want positive numbers. So usually 5 plus is a pretty good deal. And you don't want anything negative. That means that you are overpaying, and that's how you lose, dude. That's how you lose. And hey, let's look at the color-coded things for here. The players that I am targeting are highlighted in green on the value column, and the ones I'm avoiding are highlighted in a burnt orange, red-ish type of thing right there. And there's only one player that changed teams this last year, and I am actually targeting him, even though we're not going to be talking about him in detail today. Evan Ingram went from the Jags to Denver, okay? So Sean Payton knows how to use tight ends. That's what I like, okay? Let's get into this with my first target. And this is my number 1 target, dude, in the draft right now. I cannot believe this fucker is going as tight end number 9. Holy shit. This guy, want to talk about upside, man. We're talking about Jonnu Smith. He was tight end 1 in PPR from week 11 on, averaging 18.6 fantasy points per game. So, what, dude? 19 points per game from your tight end for 2 months? Holy shit, dude. That is insane. And you're getting this guy, his tight end 9, behind fucking TJ Hockenson and Sam Laporta. Some players that should not even be up there. Holy shit. So, yeah, dude. And why are people devaluing him? Well, he's a 29-year-old journeyman tight end. I mean, we've seen him on waiver wires for what, dude? 5-6 years. So he's been around. He finally got his career year in productivity. And he's playing with 3 elite fantasy assets, dude. So how can all these people eat at the same time? We got Tyreek Hill. He just had his 2nd wrist surgery. We just spoke about that. So Tyreek Hill is probably going to be devalued now after that wrist surgery. Jalen Waddle, who is usually a top 20 wide receiver, fell off a cliff last year. People are expecting him to bounce back, and where does that productivity come from? And then also, man, Devon Achane, he had 6 receiving touchdowns, which was number 1, I think, with Rashad White. As far as running backs catching touchdowns, you don't want that in your tight end room. Holy shit, because you want the tight end getting all those red zone targets. But hey, man, it works out, and it's because of Tua and the way they are playing over there. With his concussion, it lines up, man. From week 11 on, that's pretty much when Tua had a 2nd concussion or whatever, and they had to start throwing the ball super fast, man. So let's look at intended air yards from Tua. Is Tua throwing it deep, depth of target, stuff like that? Dude, the lowest out of 50 quarterbacks that are even qualified, man, at 5.8 yards. So this fool's barely throwing the ball downfield, and he's got the highest completion rate out of any quarterback at 72.9. So the most shallow routes and the highest completion rate. So Jonnu Smith, man, that is a PPR monster in the making. And let's see. And Jonnu Smith, I just want to say he's on the last year of his contract. I like that, man. When you're talking about a 29-year-old tight end, he wants another fucking contract, dude. So The motivation is there, the opportunity is there, in the scheme. Tua's not getting any healthier, dude. All right, so Jonnu Smith, my number one tight end target. Holy shit. And then real fast, I do want to say that we've been pushing rookie tight ends the last, we talked about Brock Bowers last year and Sam Laporte the year before that. And the rookie that I want this year is Colston Loveland. So I would take Jonnu Smith over Colston Loveland. But I wouldn't mind taking Colston Loveland at the number 11 spot where he's going right now. I think that is just fine. I think he'll be just fine, even the tight end 12. Once he gets above Jonnu Smith or maybe even David Njoku, I'll have to start thinking about it. But right now, Colston Loveland is a target as well. All right, man, next up, Zach Ertz. Now we're going to talk about some veterans. This fool's going as tight end number 19, so not even a starting tight end for your fantasy football league. And this guy was tight end 7 last year. And I was trying to find like a period of time, like a window where his points were the highest. Like, hey, man, this is the ceiling. This fool was tight end in every single part of this, tight end 7 in every single part of the season. So super consistent in the landscape of tight ends. Literally, man. Playable every single week pretty much. And, hey, dude, they say that Jade Daniels, we got to talk about sophomore slumps and stuff like that. If he does have a sophomore slump, the safest target that he's going to have is going to be Zach Ertz. He signed a 1-year contract extension. And I'm trying to think, why do people not want Zach Ertz? Why are they devaluing him? Well, they did spend a second-round draft pick on Ben Sano in 2024. But, hey, dude, these are tight ends. They might not pop for 3 or 4 years. And there's a lot of tight ends in the first 2 rounds that never hit at all, for God's sakes. So give me the guarantee with Zach Ertz and the rookie quarterback. Dude, he's been in the system forever, man. So fucking A. I think that Zach Ertz, if I do not get Colston Loveland or Jonnu Smith, I'm punting on tight ends. And I'll get tight end number 19, dude, Zach Ertz. Holy shit. That's a huge deal there. They did add Debo. That's another reason why people are probably freaking out. And I'm like, dude, fuck Debo. Why do I care about Debo? And then as far as target shares, this guy had the 11th highest target share rate at 18.2%. So a number 1 tight end as far as targets. But his strength, man, he was 6th in red zone target rate at 26.6%. So pretty much 1 out of every 4 Jade McDaniels passes in the red zone is going to Zach Ertz. Yeah, dude, sign me up for that. He had 7 reception touchdowns in last year. That was the 4th most. So those stats match his production, and I see that continuing on. So Zach Ertz, huge target for me. Next up, man, Hunter Henry. He's got to be a superhero, man, because he's got his initials are the same letters. Name your kid. Do that for your kids. He had the 4th highest team air yard share at 19.9%. So I like to look for pass catchers. I like to look at their air yard percentage and their target percentage and kind of see what I can get out of that, and their red zone target percentage, and see what their touchdowns are. See if there's progression, regression. Anyways, dude, this fool checks the box on air yards, so he's getting the yards. And then we can talk about targets. He had the 7th highest target share at 21%. Over 20% is great for a tight end. And we talk about touchdowns, man. This is huge right here. The 3rd highest red zone target share at 31%. So pretty much 1 out of every 3 Drake May passes, man. We're going to fucking Hunter Henry. And you'd think, oh, man, this guy had a ton of touchdown catches, right? No, dude. Only 2 reception touchdowns. He had the 4th most red zone targets at 19 with only 2 reception touchdowns last year. Look for progression. All right. Look for him to have much more than 2 receiving touchdowns this year. Huge value on Hunter Henry. Oh, my God. And then also they drafted 2 tackles and a center. He might even be running more routes. So holy shit, dude. I don't even know why they're devaluing Hunter Henry. But then here we go. We got a bonus one, right? We got a bonus one because I've been watching a lot of stuff about rookie minicamp. Cam Ward is looking pretty motherfucking good. And hey, man, I already told you to target Tony Pollard. All right, that was on the running back target show. I told you to go get Calvin Ridley. That was on the wide receiver target show. I think he's going as like a tight end 3 right now, or wide receiver 3 right now. It's kind of ridiculous. And now, man, with this Cam Ward stuff, I started looking at Chig Okonkwo, and I liked what I saw. So he's going as tight end number 25 right now. What the fuck are we doing? Tight end 3 he's going as. Talk about upside, dude. He was tight end 4 over the final 3 games of last season with like Will Levis or Mason Rudolph or whatever the fuck they were rolling out there. So that is scoring about 15 fantasy points per game, dude. That is a ceiling. So that's amazing, dude. If you could get a tight end 4 at the end of the draft, man, like last round, what are we doing here, man? They spent some draft capital on him, 4th round draft pick in 2022. And again, this is mostly about Cam Ward being better than what everybody expects. This offense taking a big step forward. And again, man, the offensive, they've got the best offensive line coach. I think their offensive line was ranked like late 20s. They're going to take a big jump in that. And that's going to coincide with their quarterback play as well, dude. So a lot of opportunity for the Titans. All right, On to the avoids, man. I am a Vikings fan. TJ Hockenson, dude. Remember when he used to get hyper-targeted and used to be a top 3 tight end? Those days are long gone, okay? He came back from injury. Justin Jefferson's getting hyper-targeted on that team no matter what. They got Jordan Addison, who's been a top 24 wide receiver for 2 years in a row. They got fucking Aaron Jones, man. He catches passes as well. He's probably going to catch even more with Jordan Mason there, running the rock. So, dude, not a lot of opportunity there. But yeah, dude, 6 or fewer fantasy points in 6 of the 10 games played last year. So this guy will lose you weeks. And that's not what I want out of a top 6 tight end going to the draft. 13th highest target share at 18%. That's not great, dude. But the big thing was only 13.2 red zone target share. We just talked about fucking Hunter Henry being in the 30s. We talked about Zach Ertz being in the high 20s. This fool's at 13%. So, again, the Vikings have so many weapons. They are spreading the ball around. They go to somewhere else all the time. So, not great, dude. So, he's not getting the targets. He's not getting the touchdowns. Now, they do have a new quarterback, so maybe things change. That is the upside that you're playing with. That's probably why you're doing it. Also, Addison's going to be suspended for the first 3 games on a DUI. He was a target of mine on the wide receiver target episode, and I forgot about the DUI suspension. Well, guess what, dude? I will target him even harder now because I guarantee he's going to come back and still be a top 20 wide receiver. So let's see. They even drafted a tight end in the 6th round, dude. And the tight end actually looks pretty good. So Kevin O'Connell's even drafting tight ends when they need help elsewhere. Holy shit, dude. I would avoid picking up TJ Hockenson, man. And then this guy right here, I've told you to avoid him since he was drafted pretty much because of Dawson Knox. Is Dawson Knox still there? Then why the fuck are we caring so much about this? Well, guess what, dude? Dawson Knox is on the final year of his contract. He's 28 years old. They're going to use him, dude. Dawson Knox is still going to be good. And now you talk about upside because of Dawson Knox. So we're ceiling. Dalton Kincaid, 10 plus fantasy points and only 2 times last year. That's it. This guy was unstartable. He lost everybody. He lost people leagues, dude, from where you drafted him and his productivity. So Dalton Kincaid fucking sucks. I think he's good. He just needs to be in a different situation, and he needs to be like the main target in this offense. Dude, Keon Coleman wasn't doing much. It was Tupac Shakur, man, was it last year, and he still didn't get the targets. He should have busted out last year, and he did not. So my strategy for this guy right now is Dalton Kincaid because he's a first-round draft pick, man, with Josh Allen. So say he pops off. I'm going to avoid him in drafts. He's going to make it to the waiver wire, and then I will spend all my fab on him and then just go on from there. But to me, not worth drafting and holding on because I'm not drafting 2 tight ends for the most part, and one's not going to be fucking Dalton Kincaid. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Remember to vomit in the comments, all right? If you got a tight end that you love, let me know down below. If you hate a tight end, man, that I am pushing, please let me know down below as well. I need to know, dude. I need all the information I can. I might need to change my mind, okay? So, hey, thank you. Hopefully I earned a thumbs up, dude. Hopefully I earned a subscription. Thank you for subscribing. We made it to 2,000, for God's sakes, man. I was begging for it last week. Well, guess what, man? I'm going to keep on begging. I need 2,500 if we can. That'd be amazing, okay? So tell your friends, man, or if you think somebody might like it, please share it. This is Tyler Big Turd Ward. This is the Fantasy Red Zone, man. We got our live drinking episodes, man, where we're talking to the public live, being crazy idiots, talking fantasy football. Check that out every Friday at 6-ish, usually, as long as our families allow us. This is Tyler Big Turd Ward, and I appreciate you.